Evan is off this week, so I'll be sitting with you. Cody Decker's going to join us. We got Governor Christie co-hosting tomorrow and a whole bunch of other people coming by over the next 5 days. Good to be back. Good to have you here. As I said, the number 877-337-6666. You know, it's funny. While you're away and you don't do this, for 5 hours, whatever it is, 4.5 hours a day every day, it changes your perspective. Perspective changes when you're not listening to Yankee fans and or Met fans for 4.5 hours a day. Perspective changes when you're not watching every single pitch knowing tomorrow I got to break that down. So here's what's fascinating to me. The New York Yankees have a 10.5 game lead in the American League East. And whenever I did a little spot check-in on the radio or went to Twitter, you would think that the Yankees are 5 games out, have a horrendous team, and at best are looking for a wild card. The flip side of that, of course, is they played better baseball than anybody for the first 2.5 months of the season. And yeah, the last month has been yuck, disgusting. But what's the date today? August 15th? It's August 15th, right? They're not playing in a playoff game tomorrow. They're not trying to win the East tomorrow. They built a 10.5 game lead. And the purpose and reason for having a lead like that is so that you can play lousy baseball for a month without it biting you in the ass. Now, I will agree. This is I can't even say a big week because the lead's so big. But yes, theoretically, if the Yankee offense stays where it's been, which is embarrassingly bad, if the bullpen can't close out games, if starting pitching doesn't get the job done, we could wake up a week from today and that 10.5 game lead could be 5 or 6 and make you concerned. But man, what happened to you guys? What happened to the I'm a tough guy from the Bronx? I'm a tough guy from Brooklyn. I'm a Yankee fan. I'm a tough guy from Orange County. I'm a Yankee fan. You got a double-digit lead, brother. It's August 15th. The hell are you crying about? Now, the flip side, though, I will say is fair, and that is the Met fan. The Met fan today has every right to be bowing up his chest. Every right. They right now, today, if you take a 30-day, 20-day, I don't know, pick your amount of days you want to pick, the New York Mets are the best team in baseball. And that you can't argue that. They're getting timely hitting. They got the best closer in baseball. They are never out of any single game. And if I were a Met fan, yes, I would be mocking the Phillies announcers, as everyone online is doing, for suggesting that all of the Mets' hits were lucky, that they're only hitting the ball, 60 miles per hour. Like I care how hard they hit the ball, right? The New York Mets today are playing better baseball than anybody else. But I would caution you, as one of those chest out, Met tattoo on the bicep, let's rock and roll kind of guys, that as much as it's only August 15th for the now stumbling New York Yankees, it is only August 15th for the resurgent best team in baseball, New York Mets. You cannot win a World Series in August. It's never happened before. And yes, I Googled it. I checked it. It has never happened before where a team has won a World Series on August 15th. So here we are. Here we are. The dog days of summer for the Yankees and the days filled with hope and anticipation and promise for the New York Mets. Just depends on who you are. Like I'm looking at Big Mac right now, and my gut is that sweat pouring off his brow is not because he's a technological mess right now trying to connect Cody Decker to the show. It's probably because he's one of those Yankee fans that is going to try to play the game of, hey, we got a 10.5 game lead. We're good. But in reality, deep inside the recesses of his belly, of his DNA, He's worried. He's worried. Clay Holmes is no longer the guy. Are we going to give the ball to Aroldis Chapman in the ninth? Does DJ LeMahieu come back after another cortisone shot? Is Stanton ever going to play again? Does this team ever win a game if Aaron Judge doesn't hit a home run? And you could see it. It's building. The agita is building. So I ask you, Big Man, which one of those fans are you? Are you the fan that says, zip it, I got a 10-game lead? Or are you a fan that goes, the team's broken, we're done?
Well, let me just answer it by saying this. I am so proud of you.
Yes.
I am very proud of you. Yeah. I love this new perspective. I'm 100% on board with
Positive.
you.
I'm always Mr. Positive.
No, I fully expected you to come in today and just completely scare us and tell us how we'll never win a championship.
I can't do that.
And it's over, and
Here's
it's just
why.
a matter of time.
It's not like the Yankees have a 2-game lead, and we see it crumbling before our eyes.
Correct.
And we know what's going to happen. The Yankees can't blow this lead. They may not be the number 1 seed. Right. Probably won't be the way they're playing. Houston will. But they got a 10.5-game lead, and I hear people crying.
I know.
Crying. And what's fascinating about it is that the Met fan's the exact opposite. For every Yankee fan crying, there's a Met fan planning the parade route right now. And that's the beauty of being on in New York City, that you've got 13 million people right now pissed in their Cheerios, and you got 8 million people thinking we're having a parade. And they're coming together at the perfect time for next week's 2-game battle.
And they're both in first place.
And they are both
have winning.
First
We're
place.
Looking ahead at postseason baseball, but we couldn't be in different perspectives.
Right, because most Yankee fans see you going downhill. Most Met fans think they're there,
listen,
top of the mountain.
I'm concerned, though. You got to be. I mean, I'm concerned. I'm concerned with the bullpen. I'm concerned with the lineup. I'm concerned with the injuries. Yeah. But I agree that they're 10 games up and they have 2 months to figure it out. Right. If they look like this come October first,
then you got a problem.
Then I got a major problem.
Yeah, but not on August 15th.
I
look,
agree
Toronto's done nothing to gain ground. Boston's done nothing to gain ground. Tampa's done nothing to gain ground. So the New York Yankees, in my opinion, have survived and will continue to survive this average baseball because no one's doing anything to get close, to make it interesting. Meanwhile, of course, our New York Jets have a new quarterback, and his name is Joe Flacco. And I watched the game on Friday, and here's just a quick thought on that, and we'll do a lot of it throughout the day today. And what's amazing is that I'm not all that crazy that Joe Flacco is going to be our opening day starter, as it looks like he probably will. I'm really not. I know a lot of Jet fans think, oh, my God, season's over. Zach Wilson's down. We got to go to Joe Flacco. I got no problem going to Joe Flacco. He's not the long-term answer. We all know that. Joe Flacco is a competent quarterback, and he is surrounded by really good players, much like Zach Wilson would have been. And there's this weird sense that we have anointed Zach Wilson as a superstar before he's earned it. So, yeah, it sucked watching Zach Wilson go down on Friday. It did, because there's so much built into his promise and his ability as our starting quarterback. But here's the reality. Zach Wilson hasn't done anything. So while you didn't want to see him go down, I want Zach Wilson to be my starting quarterback. The interception he threw was embarrassing. First drive of the game. I'm not going to, it's not his career's not based on that, but it didn't make you feel any better about his performance. And it seems like so many people are like, oh, the season's over. Well, I don't feel that way. First off, he's going to come back early. And number two, that's why you have a veteran quarterback. And you have a veteran quarterback going up against a team that he's got a chip on his shoulder against, or for. And then, if they got the Cleveland Browns without Deshaun Watson, the Jets are going to be fine. Like, the panic in the streets over the Jets is fascinating. And we'll get to that throughout the day as well. 877-337-6666. It's Carton and Roberts on the Fan. Greg is in Westchester. Greg, good afternoon. How are you?
Is that a breath of fresh air I hear on the radio this morning?
Oh, well, that's a shot at who? Big Mac, Evan, or Joe?
No, it's not a shot. Hey, it's morning for me because I just woke up 2 hours ago.
Nice, my man.
To me, it is so good to hear you on the radio. I was dying for a week listening to that Joe dude.
Well, no, Joe's great. I didn't hear a lot of it, but Thursday and Friday, and I'm sure people loved it.
Dude, you were missed.
I'm always missed. I'm a gift to everyone's earlobes, always have been. But every now and then, even a gift has to take a break.
You do. Everyone deserves a vacation, but we're happy it wasn't a 2-week-long vacation.
Well, I tell you what, and it wasn't even a vacation. My kids had to go back to college, and it's a blessing that I was able to join them and move them into their apartments back in college, because a few years ago I wasn't able to do that. So it was a very special moment for me as a dad, being able to, see my kids off to college and be a part of that process. So while for you guys, I was on vacation, for me, I was knee-deep in the IKEA instruction manual, in the tiny little half-inch wooden dowel that needs Elmer's glue. I was knee-deep in the cam lock. For those of you that don't know what that stuff is, you'll get there. You'll get there. Either you're moving into a place yourself, you got kids going to school, or you're setting them up. The cam lock, I think, by the way, just a real quick aside, might be the greatest building invention of all time. You know what the cam lock is? So the cam lock, it's in like every IKEA product ever made. So when you're connecting two pieces of wood, there's about a 1/4-inch diameter hole on one side, and you put this metal or steel, whatever the thing is, in it. And then on the hole on the other side, a screw goes in. But when the screw goes in, you turn this cam lock, and it tightens it. I don't know how it works. It's one of the greatest inventions that has ever come across the building community in our lifetime. It's like second to fire, I think, the cam lock. Anyway, I now am a part owner of IKEA, I think, with the amount of IKEA, storage things and desks and shelving that I had to build. But that's what I was for the last couple of days. I was building things, lugging boxes, holding doors, saving elevators, and that's what I was doing. So if that's vacation for you, then yeah, I was on vacation. But as a dad, it was awesome to be a part of that because, like I said, unfortunately, self-inflicted wounds, I wasn't able to do that for them throughout their college career. So I enjoyed doing it. And also I got to meet Mario Cristobal, the new head coach of the University of Miami. Came in from Oregon, making $8 million a year. Threw his son a perfect spiral at the practice facility. Kid dropped it. Good athlete, too. Kid throws a nice ball. Kid dropped it. I'm throwing perfect spirals all over campus. Kid dropped the ball. Here's Mark in Syosset on the fan. Mark, what do you got, kiddo?
Hey, Craig. First, I wanted to comment on the Mets, but the question I have for you now is, after you put together the furniture from IKEA, did you have leftover parts that you didn't know what to do with it?
For some of them, yeah. Here's what I convinced myself. There was this one particular table, and when I'm done, I had 3 screws left over. And I'm saying to myself, It's so nice of them to give you extras just in case you lose one.
That's what we all do.
Yeah.
I understand.
It's funny. I used to always say when I did like I like doing woodworking and stuff. Whenever I did a home project, I used to decide on the success of the project by how many trips to Lowe's I had to make in one day. You know what I mean?
Yep,
you always forget something. What do you got?
Anyway, on the Mets. I've been a Mets fan for a long time, and I disagree with you about the fact that we're having a parade or planning a parade.
Yeah.
I am not planning any parade whatsoever. I'm excited about this team. They're playing baseball like I haven't seen in a long time. They're fun to watch, and I'm hoping they can get far in the playoffs and make the World.
Yeah, I think, you know what, I hear you. And listen, obviously there's no universal fan, so you feel differently than others. There are outliers in that as well. I think right now, because DeGrom looks so great, because Scherzer's back, and they're back legit, like they're the 2 best pitchers in baseball right now, for my money, and they're winning every series. And I know the Braves are coming up, but, it's 5.5. Doesn't have the same feeling it did a week and a half ago when you had the 4-game series against them and won 3 out of 4. But this is an important series starting tonight. Right. You have every reason, though, Mark, and thanks for the call, to feel like beyond crazy positive. The New York Mets right now in the moment are the best team in baseball. Right now in the moment. I'm not saying that's going to be the same thing a week from now or 2 weeks from now. But tonight, when the Mets take the field against the Braves, and the Yankees are taking the field at home against Tampa, the New York Mets are the best team in baseball right now in the moment. And you should have no problem acknowledging that because it's true. You know, you get to the 8th inning, the game's over. It's a wrap. And that's how Yankee fans have felt in the past, obviously with Wetland and Mariano, and even earlier this year. But it's a wrap. And the Yankees don't have that right now. Plus, their offense is abysmal right now. It's just embarrassing.